Time. Try my sourdough jack today.
That is the front page of Friday's extra edition of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. A former president of the United States surrendered at one of the most notorious jails in the country. He was fingerprinted, his mugshot taken, and then released. Booked. Welcome back to Square Off. Donald Trump was booked on 13 felony charges for his role in an alleged conspiracy to overturn his 2020 election defeat in Georgia. A jury of Trump's peers will decide if the charges have merit. In 247 years, our country has never seen anything like it. And yet, that front page is a powerful symbol of what our country has strived to be, a nation of laws, not men. We're joined by our Political Insiders panel, Christine Jones, an attorney and former Republican candidate for governor, and Roy Herrera, a Democratic election law attorney at the law firm of Herrera Arellano here in Phoenix. Welcome back to Square Off.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Any disclosures about topics we might talk about, Roy?
I'm representing Ruben Gallego's Senate campaign.
Okay, so if we talk about Kari Lake or cinema, for example, that's pertinent.
None for me this morning.
Okay, as I was telling you before we started, for me at least, I'm of the print generation. That page was very powerful. I learned a long time ago, print hardens. Don't know if it does anymore, but that was quite a monument to what happened. It was a historic week. The debate gave us a glimpse of what the nominating contest on the Republican side might look like if Trump weren't in it. As citizens, what was your reaction to what unfolded in Fulton County this week?
Well, I think you're right about that headline and this very stark booked concept, because it hasn't ever happened before, and even the most hardened of us have to say this is unique and unusual. The political theater of it, though, still continues to swirl around in my head, and the mistake of the politically motivated Democratic prosecutors cannot be overemphasized, in my opinion, because every time another indictment, another charge, another booking, another fingerprinting comes down, he gets more popular. And if the Democrats really want him to win, they should keep bringing more indictments and more charges.
So I really wonder about that. 91 felony charges, 3 states, the District of Columbia. At some point, don't voters begin to look at that and say, is this person fit to be president?
I think so. I hope so. And, looking at next year, we're going to actually see the actual trials happen, right? So, there's actually going to be, courtroom, footage of Trump, defending himself and his lawyers defending him. So it's going to be very real, all happening during the presidential election. I think I had mixed emotions when I saw, the mugshot. On the one hand, as somebody who does not like Trump and doesn't like anything he stands for and thinks he's probably committed crimes, it brings a little bit of satisfaction to see the mugshot. But then on the other hand, as somebody who really believes in our democratic system and in this country, it's sad, right? Because that's not the way this is supposed to be. We're not supposed to have a former president that's indicted 4 times now and having to deal with that. And then, of course, he may be the nominee going forward this time. So it's an extraordinary time. It's sad. But he's going to have his day in court just like any normal citizen here, and we'll see what the jury decides.
So by the time the Arizona Republican primary, the presidential primary, rolls around next March, is there any chance Trump will be so wounded that a viable primary opponent will emerge?
No, not a single chance. And what we saw in the debate the other night really was the interview for the second position. Some people performed better than others. Some people maybe have a better shot at that than others. But there is absolutely zero chance that no matter what happens with his indictments, charges, and potentially convictions, he's still going to be the nominee. And I'm telling you, I'm warning you Democrats, stop the nonsense, because every single time you do it, you make him stronger. And he's going to get stronger in purposes of a general election every single time you post another one of these mugshots.
You buy that?
Well, I agree and disagree with my friend Christine here. I do think that every person that was on the stage this week in the Republican debate is auditioning for number 2. I mean, there is no chance, in my view,
you mean VP
or top
nominee in waiting
or whatever. If the Vivek guy, he would probably do anything Trump asked him to do. So they're all auditioning for something else. Trump's going to be the nominee. I think these indictments have only strengthened that. I think that's what the polling has shown. The real question to me, and I think this is where I disagree with Christine, is I do think it's going to hurt him in the general election at some point, both because of what we saw earlier, or what I said earlier, which is we will have these trials happening. And again, if they're done correctly and he gets convicted, I think that's got to hurt him. But then it's also cumulative, right? I mean, we've got 4 different indictments going on, investigations going on. I think that's messy. I think independents, like in Arizona, who will decide, the outcome of the election, aren't going to like it.
An important reminder, Arizona is one of just 4 swing states left that will decide who wins the White House.
Yeah, and Roy mentioned earlier off camera that this really is the ground to test this out. But I want to make one important point, Roy. In 2016, people weren't voting for Donald Trump. They were voting against everybody else. And the reason this is going to help him in the general election is because now, because he seems like such a target, weirdly, even though he's such a tough guy, people are starting to feel sorry for him, and now they're actually going to vote for him, not against the other people. It's going to make him stronger.
The pity vote.
A little bit, which is weird considering he posed like the tough guy in his mugshot. He doesn't want anybody to pity him, but he's going to get that vote.
I want to get the Arizona Republican Party reaction in. It's helmed by Trump's former top campaign executive, Jeff DeWitt. They're not moving on. A tweet called this a dark day for America. Based on the look on his face, President Trump seems more determined than ever to save our country from this government radicalization. And if you want to give money to his campaign, here's a link. So they're doing some fundraising.
Already doing the fundraising.
Yeah. Got to end it there.